merchandise together. Look at that shirt. Look at that street look. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm drinking up. It's fashion. Oh, boy. Not only do we have your favorites from the old TIs, but we have new and interesting designs. Here's Purge Gamers. Zips up for the party of the Boston exclusive shirt, and zips from the down for even more exclusivity. But we also have your favorite coasters. Oh! Along with those old items, we also have very effeminate products such as the delicious and lovely leggings. And not only that, but the calm and collected Twin Ranger outfits. Simply gorgeous. Oh my! Not only do we have clothing, but we also have accessories. Here comes Charles Yang. Oh, it's the Gib! Oh, the Gib! Yes! Yes! And also returning is the mystery box. Each mystery box has a variety of different things for you to find, including a unique Boston pin. That's not all, though. 1 out of 5 boxes gets you a rare reward that you can trade in for 3 in real life rare items. 2 boxes, unlimited possibilities, only at the Boston Secret Shop. From lonely nerd sitting in his basement to lonely nerd sitting at work, we have all styles, all fashion, and all Shiver Secret Shop. Styles for men, for women, and for Charlie Yang. Join us across the street from the way. Also including Joiners a Plush!
That was amazing. That is something. I literally, all I had in my ear was secret shop video, and I was like, oh, okay, that sounds okay. And it's just a turbulent wave of emotions flowing over me right now.
Oh, that was the best.
How do we get
from nerd in his basement to lonely nerd at work? That was a Dota tie, by the way, and I did see one. I feel like we could. I think does Slacks have it?
Well, he had it, and then he left it on the coffee table downstairs in the green room, and it's just sort of sat there. And I was like, "Oh, there's your tie." And he went, "Eh."
I have one. I'll sport it.
One. Could you wear it tomorrow?
Yeah.
I like that. I want to steal one. Maybe I can make it happen. Either way, we should
You
probably
have to walk down the thing.
I would rock that. I mean, I don't know if I'd rock the leggings as well as Charlie, but I think I could rock everything else.
He looked pretty good.
Yeah, almost. And that unzipping from the bottom. Why would you unzip it from the bottom? What do you do?
That was a thing of nightmares.
Yes. Anyway, sorry, we should get back on track because it is EHOME NP, and this is serious business. The fun is over. EHOME, the Chinese powerhouse, going up against NP, and they have got one game of Dota to determine their fate. They will either continue to the quarterfinals, where they will both double their prize pool and have a chance to play again on this very beautiful stage, or their journey ends here and it's back to the drawing board. It does seem like our desk is rather conflicted. It's been a kind of a story of very two strong contrasting halves. NP looking so good in the second, EHOME dominating the first. And
I love the way you said the fun is now over, as we're about to watch a video game.
The fun is over.
This is fun, dude. This is fun. Remember that. This is great.
It is fun, but it's also, sweaty palms and a whole lot of hard work.
Oh, for them, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
For us, it's always fun, as is that headset.
Wow, that guy's come from the future. He should be able to tell us what happens.
What happens?
Who wins?
Who wins?
Who wins, Future Man?
Tell us who wins, Future Man.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know. I think he's a bit busy.
Oh my God, he's not wearing any trousers.
Grief.
All right.
What's happening?
It's a dark future, folks. There's no trousers in the future.
The Boston Major
God.
has been influenced by a presence from the future.
I was speechless from the segment already before. Now
we need eye bleach.
We
really need eye bleach.
Now, just to clarify, that's kittens and not putting bleach in your eyes, kids. Don't do that. Yes. Kittens. Or what's your favorite go-to eye bleach?
Puppies.
Puppies. I'm more of a kitten guy myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Fogged. What do you dabble in?
Puppies as well.
You're a puppies guy. Yeah, you do.
Puppy bleaches people's eyes? Is that what he does?
Oh, God.
Unbelievable.
It's a figure of speech. Ted.
Oh, I see. I get you.
Right. Back
Rinse
into
away the
fun and games.
Okay, so one thing that I saw interesting about these two drafts is that both of them kind of want to go for late game. That's what MP likes to do, as well as Siler. But they both won with more early game drafts. So like the results say that you should go for early game, but their tendency is to go for late game. So which one are they going to go for?
That's interesting.
The team that won, the teams that won have had an early game, so why not go early game?
Yeah,
Team fight.
but this is because they punished other team for their weakness because they wanted to go for late
I
game.
like
I see what you're
Now,
saying.
they like, oh, we know that they're going to go late game, so we're going to go early game. They're like, oh, but if they don't commit to it all the way, then the team with more late game wins if you don't full commit.
You know what I think we're going to see?
Half commit.
I think we're going to see super cautious drafts, like the way DC draft, where you can't really tell where they're going to go, and it can flip a bunch of different ways. If you show your hand too early, what we've seen is you get punished. You get bleach in your eyes.
It's the first game 3.
Yeah.
This is it, man. It took us a long time to clarify for everyone at home who's unfamiliar. The entirety of our first day was 2-0s, and DC Faceless also was 2-0. So coming into our 6th game of the playoffs, we do find that 3rd game.
So SD,
SD's left.
Luna, and Warlock are still in.
EHOME banning out the Omni. I guess they just really feel that NP mastered the Omni Knight, and that's why they even took it from them the last 2 series since they had first pick. I guess they just, the way that they saw NP use in the group stage, I guess they really liked it.
Okay.
I think MP's debate now is, do we take Shadow Demon? Oh, no, they've gone for Warlock. So now it could be SD Luna. Boom, win game.
More than likely. EHOME drafted it before in the group stages too.
I think Warlock's okay versus that. The Fatal Bonds versus the Illusions on the Luna is sometimes, but you have to be able to get to them is a big problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Naga Siren.
Oh,
Nice.
wait a second.
Yeah,
Is this
really
like the
could
first
be.
time it's been available to them? I feel like that's
For
been
MP, it's usually banned
I believe
second
he's
phase.
banned first
Second.
phase a lot of the time,
Yeah,
actually.
okay.
Yeah,
in
it's been
this
quite
tournament,
a
I think
few
it's been
times.
second.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
secret shop swag.
All the pins.
Represent.
Oh wow. He's rocking all of them.
They didn't. They did ban him in the last game.
How you doing?
More than likely the SD Luna. But what are the other possibilities? And Warlock, like you said, is pretty decent versus the illusion spam with the Fatal Bonds being attached to the main carry, but
SD and Luna. What a surprise! Kept us hanging there. Oh, boos from the crowd. Boo! How dare you try to win? Boo!
I like.
with the Mirana again.
I think the Sand King's actually pretty good versus the mass illusions. We've been talking about how you deal with the illusions. Before, teams like tried Lion. We saw Disruptor pick once versus SD Luna, and they were just all just lost.
So has they yet to be found the perfect kind of counter pick to this duo?
Yeah, that's why it's still first pick.
Still
all the time.
still first
But
pick.
Timbersaw's a decent.
Timbersaw is one of the best.
Usually gets banned like 3rd, 4th if teams pick Shadow Demon Luna for.
nice and stable
Yes,
for them.
absolutely.
SD Luna, of course, for anyone that has just joined us, has been the most successful combination of 2 heroes in both the group stage and here in the playoffs. In fact, SD on his own has had an incredible success rate, just conceding 1 of the games he's been played in.
And thank goodness we've been blessed with this thrilling and exciting player in hero in Shadow Demon. It's great to see.
NP actually bans out the Timbersaw themselves.
You're not a fan?
No, but if EHOME play with him and win, then I was right. So go SD.
Believing in the SD Luna.
Are they not going to ban out Naga though?
This would be the
They
first
could.
time.
Yeah, they might not ban it out though.
Bye Beast. EHOME take away the Beastmaster this time.
I think the Naga is definitely a ban that should be on their minds.
It's like 100%.
It's super good with Warlock too, because if you're like in a crappy situation, you can just turn it around instantly. And SD Luna is like one of those like push lineups, so you'll be able to set up your fights if they are set up for that. You just obviously sleep and bring the rest of your team in. They actually have the arrow combo as well on top of it.
Why did MP ban Timbersaw?
Do they have the first pick coming out of the draft? Out of the thing? No, right?
Let me see.
Warlock
Goes
was picked
1,
first.
Warlock first
2.
pick, so.
Warlock was picked first.
Yeah, ban, yeah. That's why.
EHOME's used a minute of their reserve time.
What are they
For this
possibly
ban.
thinking about?
Really, maybe they're wondering if they can work versus the Naga, or maybe they're just taking a
if they
look
can
at
push
recent
versus
heroes.
Naga?
Maybe push versus the Naga. That's a good point. Yeah, they banned out the Juggernaut. Okay.
It's available.
It is available. Let's see. I'd be curious to see if MP can do it. I know it's like, his favorite hero and everything.
I mean, it just fits so well with their draft, and it's I mean, this is like we said, this is the last game of this.
Yeah.
Either one who loses this is out. Why not bank on your last game as a Naga game?
Yeah,
I think
you'd think, let's pick our favorite hero.
They
then,
probably
for
have
sure.
a prepared strat for it, though. I would assume if they take that long of a ban, it's like, okay, do we want to play versus Naga, or do we want to use our anti-Naga strat if they pick Naga?
Right. I mean, surely in your third game.
I think a great point that Gods made when he was casting and analyzing the game was like that EHOME didn't have access into the backlines. Both these heroes kind of enables you to be able to do that. EHOME goes for Darkseer, safe standard pick, gives you mass team fight. That's what they were lacking it so much before. Now they're emphasizing it very highly in their priority list.
Yeah, no Ogre, please.
No Ogre. Yeah. Well, I mean, they still could because Ogre Darkseer, but they could emphasize more on
You want some follow-up with Darkseer? Like
Some more
Sanking again, I think would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Sanking Darkseer is always stable. Slardar, even as a support, is all right.
Those banned though.
Yeah,
I just think Sand King's awesome. Just get him.
he is.
He's awesome.
Do they play? They don't play Earth Spirit, do they? EHOME? Don't believe so.
I have not seen it in their last 10
last 10 games. Yeah, so they probably want to do a Darkseer like dual lane though. That's what more of the emphasis we've seen from majority of teams, just to pressure the safe lane.
So far, I don't think we've seen the same hero picked by EHOME.
Yeah, they really like to change it up a lot.
Yeah, the only same hero we've seen twice from them was the Omni Knight.
So lots of MSS's heroes, or lots of the offlaners are just out of the pool. As I said, the Sanking gets picked up. That still could be, they did run in support last time. This kind of leaves their draft a bit more open-ended still, but more than likely that one will be the offlane this time since, Timbersaw's banned out, Slardar's banned, Batrider's banned, Beastmaster's banned. Like, this is all of MS's heroes except for, like, the Clockwork. So, more than likely the Sanking offlane this game, especially because Darkseer's taken by their team. And this gives NP even more team fight potential too. They have heavy magic burst on all their heroes, and like you mentioned, the approach to dealing with the SD Luna, the illusion spam, Sanking. Since you can get, obviously the Sanking just is ultimate is very good, and then if you ever get to that Aghanim Scepter with the caustic, it's you stun, you apply caustic on everything that you hit. It's very good versus that type of situation.
You think an early pipe on Darkseer here would be pretty bloomin' good, wouldn't it? Like
Versus what they have now, yeah. I definitely would like to see NP draft some more physical-oriented heroes.
It's always Sven. I think it's pretty
There's
good
always
too.
yeah. Sven is a great wombo
Stable.
combo.
DK.
This looks like a VP draft, right? We got some DK, Shadow Demon, Luna, Darkseer. That's pretty much like
Solid.
cookie cutter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great tempo push lineup too, and it scales because everybody's been going the Armlet DK build, so you have late game potential with it.
They started with Omni Knight, then they wanted to try and play in the Knight, and now they've gone for the Dragon Knight.
I wonder if they're still
nice.
going
I
to
like that. Was good.
like Ogre on the end there just to buff up the DK and the Luna a bit.
I would
and
like
just
Coddle for
steady
NP.
Eddie.
Right?
Yeah, well, I was thinking for EHOME.
Wasn't Cole the last ban of the last draft? Like you were expecting to see it pop up, and then we lost it.
Does give them a lot more. It's a lot of magical damage, but it's great versus the illusion spam. It's obnoxious as hell for Darkseer in laning phase.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, blinding light is also something that people can kind of overlook versus illusions. You just blinding light the illusions.
It's so annoying.
It's
That's
extremely
good.
potent.
I like that.
It's
None
not
of them
like
are going to build MKB.
Exactly.
At least not until super, super late, perhaps. You never really want to build MKB just for blinding light.
Yeah.
It's such a waste of gold. But you have to. It's like 80% miss.
It's that influential.
80% miss, I believe.
It feels like 100%, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they go for their Naga. Now that even the Kata looks even better. I'm assuming EHOME's going to ban it out, but
So
There it is.
They must have been prepared. They were expecting to see this siren pop up, right?
You'd think so.
They have a push.
you
hope
have to.
so.
They're like most well known for this Naga Murana.
It's been highly anticipated by EHOME.
The crowd cheered for it.
Um,
That's rarity for Naga.
That's rare.
Siren.
Yeah.
Usually you hear the boos, but
You know that it's like people like MP, right? And people like AUI, or AUI, I should say. So it's like you get to see a guy you like on a hero he loves in a decided match of single elim, I'm kind of surprised EHOME have let him have it, honestly.
they banned the Undying on EHOME too. So not expecting, not thinking it's a coddle. I still really like the coddle for NP's draft. I think it fits like everything that they kind of need to. They can even fight as 4 and bring the Naga in when it's necessary, and always accelerate his farm with Chakra.
I think ET's also pretty good.
ET's also
for similar purposes.
very good, yeah, and that's an SVG hero for sure.
What do you think MP need to worry about here from EHOME's lineup? I mean, obviously they can absolutely still lose. This is a very strong lineup. We're not going to write off Luna SD at all.
It's just losing one team fight is the most that is the thing that you're worried about the most. Like if you waste sleep and you waste rock, you'll probably lose 2 towers, I would say. So it's like after this last pick is going to be a support from EHOME. I don't really see anything that's going to change like the base of the strat. SD plus Luna plus
high
DK.
stakes, you mean?
I still think Ogre looks good for EHOME.
Yeah.
Right? Because they banned out the Undying too. That's kind of like an indicator. We've been seeing a lot of this, the Ogre versus Undying match. And they go for the Disruptor instead. That's actually pretty interesting because they now have like massive wombo combo with their Naga Siren Sleep once he gets involved. And it gives them more, like even more team fight. And it's good versus like EHOME's lineup. If they do go for a push, like if they go for like pushing and there's people in position, they can always just glimpse people back. And you have to pretty much commit to taking a tower in that manner. Otherwise, you're going to lose a hero every single time.
And now you're forced to get BKBs. There's no way you can't get a BKB versus lineup. But by the time you get BKBs, Naga probably has all our items. So it's a very tiny window for EHOME to execute their lineup to perfection.
So NP are almost forcing EHOME into a certain kind of shopping list, forcing them into a certain time.
Oh.
So they go, oh, okay.
Ooh, I did not see that one.
I did not see that one coming.
Yeah. I think this is the most even of the 3 drafts that we've seen.
I completely agree. Yeah, it's like they can both scale very late into the game, but of course, it's a Naga Siren on NP, so we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how they want to deal with it.
Man, I think this is going to be a fantastic one. We had one-sided game for NP, one-sided game for EHOME, and now the desk is telling us we've got the most balanced draft we've seen, and it is elimination time. By the end of this game of Dota, one of NP and EHOME will be going home, the other will be doubling their money and continuing to the quarterfinals. One last time to cast this one, it will be Gods and Toby 1. It's going to be big, it's going to be loud, and I'm sure Boston's going to love it.
We balance the draft, we balance the series as far as score goes in Game 3 of NP up against the wonderful EHOME. Very solid draft for both sides. Doesn't really feel like there's any real big weaknesses in either side.
It feels fitting that we end Game 3 with the Naga Siren pick of all things when it's NP.
And of course, our completely non-biased crowd that boos the SD and Luna, but praises the Naga Siren.
How the times have changed.
Yes. Well, let's bring back the old glory days of TI3.
We'll see the early rotations towards top, both offlaner and support looking to get down the wards, but not going to be allowed by Rose as he scouts that one out.
Always this kind of battle. This time around, though, Old 11 isn't as strong on the darks here, so we may have to yield to Rose.
Yeah, and he's saving up most of his money, so if he wants to, he can buy the Iron Talon to just go for that fast jungling if he feels he's not going to get any experience out of the lane. Rose, of course, playing the Warlock. We've seen that time and time again.
And I hope everyone's ready for the team fight that will be NP in this series. We look to see like how NP will function as a full crew. Sometimes the SKs in the Boston Major so far have been very underwhelming with the amount of damage they do. But when you have a Naga song set up, when you can just throw down the Disrupt the Storm and Wall, then you bring in your Epi, then you bring in your Rock and your Fatal Bonds, plus the double Starfall, all of this combined together, it's so difficult for EHOME to bail out of. I was actually liking your idea for the 5th pick, instead of having something like the Enchantress, something to counter that team fight like the Kunkka, but EHOME go for more of this early game rotation pressure.
Yeah, we're talking a bit about it. I think the Kunkka for the team fight, if they want to match MP, would be nice, but the really nice thing the Enchantress gives them is an ability to deal with the split push of the Naga. You can just steal those Naga illusions using the enchant, and typically they're split up, so it's just one illusion pushing a wave. I definitely expect Garda to max this skill since it gets down to just 12-second cooldown at level 4, so he's going to help deal with that Naga Siren problem later on in this game, and we'll see what he can do earlier on, because that's where the hero also first needs to come online, which is putting pressure on the lane, particularly the safe lane where SVG is once again going to be dual laning down bottom. They really love giving MSS these good early starts.
Well, SVG, if you can make the space for it, it'll be fantastic, but you do have to give a lot of respect to the combination which has been taking Boston by storm, which is the SD as well as Luna. So Lanham needs to keep his distance, and he's just going to start off with this just cheap and easy harassment onto MSS on the bottom lane.
Speaking of harassment, the double Thunderstrike coming out already. Sylar down to below half HP, but SVG, he's got clarity to try and get another couple Thunderstrikes off, and that's something LANM will not be able to cancel currently. He really wants to get in. and stop this one, but doesn't seem to be possible.
Middle lane, for some reason, MB. Oh, he leaps. He goes for the courier. The damage is enough. The courier will drop. It was just bringing a salve to Old Chicken. Envy made it look like he was just having a stroll down mid-lane, looking to farm up some creeps, and all of a sudden, he's killing couriers.
That's the
Bottom lane, now they look for another opening. Garda, oh, too early! He let the Centaur Stomp go too early. I think he was hoping that MSS would just instantly Burrow Strike north, and then he'd catch him with the Centaur Stomp, but he next leveled the no level.
Yeah, that was not the outcome they were hoping for with the Enchantress's first rotation, and every kind of move is time wasted. They have got an Alpha Wolf, so a lot of damage potential between this as well as the Swiftness Aura of the Hellbear Smasher. Not a lane NP can really stick around too much in, but
they can contest for the rune. I don't know, MSS is already bailing out.
And they've got boots on both these heroes in the off lane for NP, so it does make them that little bit harder to gank. But man, what a play from Envy. That's a big gold boost for his entire team, getting a Curry that early on, and stops the DK from getting his bottle. It's so hard to play the mid lane without a bottle.
Wide ball.
Did he miss an arrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be an understatement.
You get the good with the great, with the not so great when it comes to Envy.
So for a moment, I actually thought he was trying to farm up one of the camps, but that was definitely not the case. Old 11's having a lot funner time up on this top lane. Well, there's a lot of pressure being applied from EHOME on the bottom. It's the fact that you're getting higher levels up in the Iron Shell. Rose having to spend his Shadow Word to always attack. Okay, bottom lane, SVG. He's the one that will put down the wall. The Burrow Strike just goes on the Hellbear, keeps him away, and now the TP begins. They have enough damage to clap and the Lucid Beam. The TP was going to be cancelled anyway, and EHOME spilled first blood on the bot lane.
And now the rotation pays off this time around. Couldn't get away from that one, and EHOME doing everything to secure this bottom lane. It really feels like they've changed things up and made the priority this game to have a strong laning stage. The Darkseer in a 1v2 matchup, that's an ideal setting for him. The 3v2 at bottom lane, they're applying pressure, using the Enchantress early. And the mid lane is a good matchup for DK. It's a favorable matchup. Losing the Courier, though, makes this a bit more even. And as a result, this lane hasn't gone as well as they would have hoped for. But all in all, laning stage has been very good for EHOME.
Yeah, now the bottle is coming out. Well, okay, no, it's going back. Yeah, there we go.
And Enchantress wanted her boots and smoke, perhaps looking for a rotation. Could go for the mid lane if she finds the right creeps.
MSS is coming over to try and contest this little bit of a pull that's happening from EHOME. Lanham, still wonder if he wants to initiate properly into this. Doesn't have enough support to help him out. Like everything else is looking towards runes. Envy, you know he wants to try the... Okay, he's going to leap in. He kept the distance like he looked for an arrow, but he leaps in to grab the illusion rune. And then straight back to the mid lane.
Envy's just feeling it right now. He's making all these swag plays, and we'll see if he can keep it up. I mean, he's not winning his lane straight up. It's even on CS here, so by no means has it given him the complete advantage over the DK, who hasn't died, of course.
A lot of control into the creeps of Garda. Having both the Mud Golems as well as the Dark Troll Summoner. There's a lot of stuns, a lot of quick damage that comes out from the Mud Golems. It's really... Like, you don't expect it anywhere near as hard as it comes.
Yeah, and that's where NP, I think, respecting the aggressive potential of this EHOME defensive lane, are actually going to smoke up both Sankey and Disruptor and look to channel in on this mid lane, give Envy a bigger edge here if possible.
This is when the Rune Steal actually pays dividends, because Old Chicken sitting at half of his life would be full if he had it before. Going to rely maybe a little bit on raindrops to help him, and Naga Illusion makes Old Chicken a little bit timid, moves back to the Radiant jungle. The beam isn't enough, he can't get close enough, he needs a little bit more help. SVG starts to TP, there was nothing that would stop him. Silo was too far away to lend the Lucid Beam, so it ends up being an off lane for a mid lane trade-off for the kills. But a heavy rotation from both sides.
Yeah, that's ultimately worth it for NP, since they're the ones who would just have the free farming Nagasar in the safe lane. AUI seeing up at 40 CS with the Arcane Boots. He's got the mana to sustain the constant mirror image Riptide spam to farm both the jungle and the lane.
Look to the SK. Disruption, catcher, Old Chicken. He's an instant Dragon Tail stun. He's going to get it as well with the Breathe Fire. SK copying so much damage. The amplification still only at level 1 for the catcher. And went for 2 in Disruption.
They had no detection there. They really only barely get that kill.
The stun! The arrow from Envy! He threw it from the mid lane. He actually connected. That's a long stun time. And Garda, he's not even here for a rewarding mission. He'll steal the Centaur. The wall will come up. And he needs to play the distance game. But again, Envy right in the money. Leaps in. And that Enchantress caught out at the secret shop. Bottom lane's been pressured very heavily. This way, Garda probably thought he had more space to work with.
Yep. Just feels like EHOME aren't getting enough now with the couple nice rotations coming out from the off-laners to go towards that middle lane. They really need to start pushing some towers and putting pressure onto NP because Naga is not being beaten in lane. The Darkseer, yes, is getting farmed, but by no means is it coming at the cost of Naga not getting farmed. She is free farming like no other, and this is the biggest concern that EHOME have to deal with right now.
And you can see AUI, like no reason to rush up the Relic. He's still playing in a rather difficult lane against 9-Shell Darkseer.
He's got the jungle items, the constant mana, the Iron Talon as well.
Now you know exactly what he's looking for next. Like, we're 7 minutes in, he's already got all of the arcanes with the Iron Talon and the PMS. It's a simple maneuver to now go directly for the Radiance.
Yep. He uses his Mango with the Arcane Boots to get even more mana out of it. So it's all the little small efficiency plays coming out from him, but real action is brewing up bottom lane. MP looking to group up a little bit here. It's all about creating space for the Naga, but also shutting down Sylar as much as possible and stopping EHOME from being able to kind of group up, push, and take too many towers in the early game.
It's crazy to think that MP are the ones looking to be aggressive before they've got the rock up. Enchantress normally wins in these type of battles just because of the amount of support she can bring into the lane. And here she goes again. MSS will see her as SVG just a little bit further away. So the creeps start with a clap. The Centaur Stomp's there too. Lanham going to put the catcher on him. SVG's going to drop very, very quickly here. One charges will allow him to stay alive. They can't reach him just yet. Even the Glimpse try and drag Lanham back away. Well, that doesn't really work. And the Eclipse from Sylar. SVG starts his TP. MSS. Oh, the Lucid Beam. It reached him just enough. Lanham behind him. But Eternal Envy comes in with a surprise Starfall. At least we'll get some revenge for his fallen teammate, but then manages to slip the arrow between creeps. It's nothing with that. A 2-for-1 trade-off on the bottom.
Yeah, a nice move from Envy. He's actually being very impactful here in the early game. From the Courier Snipes to denying DK Runes, now coming towards his bottom lane to at least get a cleanup kill, and every little bit helps as far as making more and more space for AUI as time goes on. AUI was forced to kind of heal up back at base, but he doesn't mind too much. A small bit of downtime for the Naga to heal up can lead to a lot more farm if you go back out to the lanes with full HP, full mana to constantly use those illusions to farm both jungle as well as lane.
I was wondering how long it would take for MP to commit more heroes to this top. Darkseer having a very casual move to his mech, and now Lanham, in fact, and Sylar try and predict the rotations. They smoke at the tier 2 tower, so that fresh Observer Ward down from SVG doesn't see anything.
They're smoking up here, but that's as Darkseer is going back to base to heal.
Envy. They're coming in close. Disruption. Lanham didn't want him. He saw the support, went for that instead. The arrow is a short-range one. Sylar waiting for it. The Lucid Beam is out. SK is low. But with the Burrow Strike, they find the kill. The SD Illusions are chasing after MSS.
Yeah,
but there won't be enough damage to find it.
They knew the Sand King was low, so they thought they could two-man smoke kill him. They thought that Sand King was being greedy, trying to farm for his blink on low HP, but NP were up there with a couple different heroes there, because that was a two-man smoke from an SD Luna with no Eclipse. They did not have any way to fight into NP outside of a single hero pickoff, which would have been nice if they could get it, but it wasn't the case.
Interesting leap from Envy. He has that on cooldown for a while. I think he was hoping for the 10-minute rune, but Old Chicken was moving up for that. He's lucky it's just a bounty rune, no action rune to work with.
Yep. These Naga illusions being very pesky. Just chipping away at old Lanham and delaying any kind of a mid-play here.
It's still just going to feel very odd. Like, hey, Naga's getting really big, but then you've got SD, then you've got Enchantress to actually work for EHOME. So it's like, well, now you've technically got... AUI becomes a trader unwillingly.
Yep. That's a good point. It's one of those things where EHOME won't be shy to go to the super late game as far as having the damage and the carry potential on their side. They will be a bit shy to go into big team fights, because that's where Sand King, I mean, you mentioned the setup from the song into Epicenter, Burrow Strikes, Warlock Ultimates, Static Storms is scary.
Trying to look for SVG. Gonna see him go invis at the last second of the Moonlight Shadow. The Iron Shell sticking him out, but now the Burrow Strike into the rock. The damage on Sylar is huge. We still got 12 one charges. Glimpse back, now turns on the Eclipse with the defensive disruption. Allowing to get the full Eclipse off, but now still on the run out. MSS can't get close enough. Lanham creates the distance and will sacrifice himself, combining up with the rock. Oh, there's your first TP out. And the Warlock does end up going down, so as the Darkseer who actually ends up killing off the Warlock. And now 11 back into the front row, going after MSS on the top lane, trying to play around this Darkseer wall. Garda low on life, but it's going to be that top lane where it's a triple kill now for Old 11. The pressure continually placed from EHOME in the mid. Warlock will end the spree of the Darkseer.
Poor Darkseer did such a good job in that team fight and then gets taken out by a Warlock Golem at the end. But Old
Bottom
11
lane, disruption catcher, AUI says no fun to everybody. You all have to look tired.
This is looking much more like the Old 11 from Game 1 on Batrider, making all the big plays for his team, getting a lot of farm. It was a 7-minute Blink Dagger there on Bat. This game around, not playing the initiating type hero, but getting involved in the fights. Has a mech Arcane Boots just 12 minutes in. They missed the Tower Deny at bottom. Lanham kind of vacated that bottom lane as a creep wave swooped in to get the last hit, so MP get a bit more cash out of that one. But as it stands, I think EHOME still have to be concerned. The Naga is getting closer and closer to that relic, number 1 on the net worth chart. And this split push threat is going to become very, very real as time goes on.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly a couple of minutes ago, though. Like EHOME as well as MP, they're both happy to take this into the late game. Both teams have so many perks going into the late game. EHOME obviously can turn stuff around. Oh, top lane. Old 11 thought he had an opening charged in. Now SVG puts him in a storm. Does he have enough life? The mech charge is still available for the Darkseer. No surge, just going to back him. Looking for some interruption to slow down the MP attack.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if either team feels like, oh, we got to end this fast, or if we're going to see that fallback and pick up some Midases. Like here's like Darkseer Enchantress could theoretically say, all right, let's just go super late game and try beat the Naga, get some Midases. Same thing for NP on heroes like Warlock, Disruptor. You can theoretically justify these Midas pickups. The alternative is you just try and end the game by 20-25 minutes, which is where you want to get all the early game items possible. And that to me is more the EHOME style. As much as they could go late game, use the fact they have the enchant, use the disruption, I feel like there's a good... There's more EHOME strength where it's just let's play fast, let's beat them before they get the Naga Siren too scary. As it stands, we're going to have towers getting exchanged here. EHOME take the bottom lane where NP just trading that for farm. NP are more just inclined to avoid fights until they have that Radiance. Also importantly, the Song of the Siren still on cooldown from that bottom fight. So if they want to try set up some kind of big engagement around the Sand King, the Warlock ultimates, the Static Storm, they've got to wait for 50 seconds before AUI has that sleep again. But mid lane, it's EHOME. They've smoked up. They're sitting behind Old Chicken here, looking to fight around him. Whether or not NP will take the bait's another matter. It looks like EHOME just going to force things here by chipping away at the tier 2 tower.
Top lane, Old 11. That Burrow strikes out. The arrow from Envy. Oh, Old 11's got friends that will stay with him. Puts on the wall, and MSS has to hide inside the sandstorm. Old 11 knows he doesn't have a kill here until support arrives. It's AUI. MSS so low. Old 11 trying to burn him down with the Iron Shell. Old 11 finds the kill. Straight trade-off at the end of the day. A lot of support rotations in, but it's EHOME who now create more space in the mid lane. Pushing in MP. They'll even leave an extra present of Luna behind.
Well, they're not going to be able to break through, but they will kind of scare NP a bit, bring them back, and take a lot of map control. Both mid lane and bottom lane now missing their tier 2 towers makes it very easy for EHOME to secure Roshan if they want, and they are looking to threaten to at least chip away at this tier 3 tower. They want Naga to ideally TP back. They don't have to force the fight, but they just want to try and limit what Naga's doing on the map. Fortunately, they don't feel too safe in sticking around and will back off to farm the other lanes.
Oh, we've got a couple of teams watching from the audience. That's the boys. That's Adfinum sitting at the back there. So say hello, everybody. Say hello. Wonderful to have the team still sticking around watching a whole bunch of games, of course. Big matches still to come up later today, and I think those boys just got off a signing session too.
Yeah, they'll be taking on Newbie in a very exciting first round encounter. But they've got to wait for this one to finish. EHOME and NP going the distance, and we talked about how these are teams prone for the long games, and with the Naga Siren hitting that 16-minute Radiance timing, it's feeling like NP have the tools they need to take it into the late game and not collapse in the early game and see any kind of a successful high ground push just yet from EHOME.
Give it time, man. Give it time. Maybe 40 minutes. Then will be a time for that high ground push. Radiance is now done, so it took 16 minutes, but AUI has completed it.
It's scary. You try and group up as 5 to push high ground into the team fight. MP is not all about the split push. They're much more about the team fight at certain points of the game. The Blink Dagger on the Sand King, the Warlock, Fatal Bonds plus Rock combo.
Well, Old Chicken's found his target. With that extra little bit of speed, they catch up to AUI. Song of the Siren. This is going to allow MP to set up. Rose has the ulti. He wants to throw it. Here comes the arrow. It hits the DK. Rock committed, plus the storm, plus the epicenter. Overkill is not in MP's vocabulary. They are just sending a message to EHOME for the next fights. Just remember what we can do. That is everything we can do.
I guess the scary thing is if EHOME now push forward while those spells are on cooldown, but take another look here. They just did not have the damage. Very overzealous attempt on a kill on a Naga Siren with just those two heroes. If they had like a third hero with some good damage output, like a Luna Eclipse, yeah, it's a possible kill. But without that third hero, they weren't even close to killing AUI. And they get punished, but again, this is the cooldown period now where NP have to be very careful. 70 seconds without the Moonlight Shadow or Epicenter. 70 seconds without the Song. They are missing these ultimates, and if EHOME can get these lanes pushed out fast, they could theoretically threaten to go for an objective like Roshan. But Naga Illusion's just so effective at keeping everything pushed out that it doesn't even look like EHOME are going to get an opportunity to do that.
Nope, they have to wait. They have to wait for the right time. NP, again, they go on this hunt with the Aghanim Scepter on Envy. You do have that big burst, but okay, EHOME, they're still going to do it. They're underneath MP, no big ultimates. They are going in.
Get there just in time. I mean, the 80 seconds on the wall one is the big one.
Wait for it. Here it comes. Arrow flies, hits Sylar. Full 5 seconds. They wait it out. The Naga Illusions hovering around. And now SD says, well, thank you very much. I'll take one of those to myself as a souvenir home. MSS considering the Burrow Strike fall, but they all get fatally bonded. They have to bail out. Andy! In for the jump! Triple kill! He's done the work! Even the arrow to Old Chicken. It was all set up by the Fatal Bonds. And EHOME, together they are tethered with a glimpse back into him! They go again! SK will find the kill! EHOME get team wiped, and that is the epitome of a disaster.
Whew. Okay. Holy shit, that was something.
Respect
Envy.
the combo. Respect the combo.
I wore my little Miranda pin today. I'm feeling like I've done my part, giving my energy to Envy. That was such a good time for him to come in.
See that again. Slow it up. Fatal Bonds. One hit. And look at the damage. You spread it out. There's a reason why Warlock Fatal Bonds is so...
MSN's like, yeah, that's a fight. We'll take that.
That's another day at the office. Let me just find my Dota 2 tie.
Oh, God, he wasn't even impressed by that one.
Just Envy things. We expect that from him. Oh, NP now looking to punish even more. Garda going to get glimpsed back on the bottom. SVG with the help of Envy again, jumping for the double Starfall. Enchantress with the stick charges, trying to actually stay alive long enough with 3 points up and Untouchable might be able to do it. The back is there. Now Envy in too deep. There's that hit coming from the impetus of Garda. 11 not sure if he really wants to stick around for anything more of this, and yeah, he doesn't.
Oh, they've got a
AUI
Warlock
Song of the Siren up with that Warlock. The rock can drop, the arrow will connect again. They go for the combo and the star falls through their work. NP racking up more kills on the board. They'll take the tier 2 tower. Remember the old enemy, all of EHOME wasn't there. Old Chicken pushing out the mid, Sylar's pushing out the top. They're going to try and force MP to come home.
I mean, MP may be the ones who want to keep on pushing. They don't hit buildings all too well, and they're also in no rush. They have won 2 big fights in a row. They have an incredible gold lead at this point. They do not have to end this game anytime soon. If anything, they're looking at Naga Siren as a hero that's not really breaking high ground until you get 3 or 4 big items, and yeah, they fall back. They're playing the long game. They get the Midas as I talked about. Disruptor now, SVG, picks up a Midas, and things are looking very good for the Canadian squad.
And there they are with all these Midases. If that Aghanim Scepter even remotely gets close for SVG, this game for EHOME may just be over. They went for the stable draft. They went for a really solid thing. Now they'll have to show a lot of patience. Play defensive. Don't lose out too much. Turn the Naga's power against herself. Don't get caught out by this combination that NP loves to throw.
It's really their only option. It's kind of funny how EHOME are going to be the ones playing more the avoid fights and split push, yet the Naga is on the other team. It's going to be Darks here trying to push out lanes. Luna, same thing, avoiding those 5v5 fights. They just cannot go into that sleep. I mean, every single hero combos with the Naga setup. You've got arrows from Mirana as well as the AoE damage. You've got the Sand King Burrow Strike Epicenter, the Warlock ultimate with Fatal Bond, Disruptor Static Storm. 5 heroes that can create these beautiful team fights for NP, and all they need is like 2 or 3 ultimates to land. The 4th or the 5th is just like icing on the cake at this point.
And look at how now they try and approach the initiation. The Iron Shell Old Chicken looking for somebody in the neighborhood, but thanks to that Dire Observer, they knew it was there. The Radiant Sentry was down when the DK walked over the Dire Obs. He wasn't visible, but he was able to see the supports, and that's what makes it work. So Old Chicken, Shadowblade wants to do something. It's Rose.
Oh, this is dangerous. The smoke from NP, though, is going to run right into him.
Old Chicken, Invis, run.
There's no detection. It's just sentries on the Warlock, which isn't really the ideal hero to have in the front. So if your smoke pops, you're not going to have those sentries right away.
EHOME's leaving.
Yeah, NP can kind of force this bot lane if they want. They have so many options available to them. They can sit back, farm the map. They can try and force a high ground push because that's going to lead to a 5v5 team fight, which plays into the strength of their draft. So very difficult for EHOME right now, who just can't really move out on the map too effectively.
Old Chicken, as well as Garda, are the ones tasked with defending the bottom lane, even though they know they could be initiated on any time, just like this. The Feather Bond's going to get into the creep wave. Old Chicken goes inside Invis. They drop down the rock. Where's that vision? The arrow! Envy connects! He found Garda on the back lines. The double Starfall will do the work. EHOME down 2. Buyback is available on the Enchantress, but not the big man, not the DK. Silas pressure on this top lane. MP are happy with this. They'll trade a tier 2 for a tier 3. And now they force off, sliding the SD into the kill.
Style points from MSS. That is some sick play from him. And
you sack the racks? Is that actually what you have to do now? Oh no, the Darkseid is too close! They jump in again! Time and time again, EHOME are getting caught with their pants down.
They still have all their ultimates outside of the Warlock, but that's fine. You can easily fight without the Warlock ulti if you've got your 4 others, and that is an easy Rax claim for NP, just finding all these pickoffs, chain feeds coming out from EHOME, and
Envy saw Sylar. He saw him up inside the jungle. Might be trying to find it if he can just get that nice little fishing arrow. The vision, there is no observer wards on the river, so yeah, Envy will bail out, and so will the bottom lane after MP took the entire Rax.
This really sets them up for success. I mean, EHOME they're so far behind on farm at this point. Only the Luna has farm and level. She's about to complete a BKB, but that's not an item that's going to win you the game. It may help you do well in one team fight.
Epicenter, they found the opening. DK, again, no buyback. Old Chicken walked out. They're going to glimpse it. Garda, his snare is there. The TP out. Zero. Yep, he's got the time, but he's fatally bonded up. The heal back at Fountain is enough, and the sprites have finally returned to Garda.
Yeah, it's brutal. The toughest thing right now is like some of the levels on EHOME. DK's level 11. Meanwhile, Warlock level 13. The supports on MP with these Midas pickups have more farm, more levels, and are having a bigger impact than core heroes on EHOME. Outside of the Luna, EHOME heroes are all behind where they're meant to be. They're missing their benchmarks.
I think Sylar's actually legitimately totally dead.
Yep.
Stormed up. Quick rotation. MP knew exactly what they want. They smoked the second after the fight.
Oh,
and again, EHOME are down a core with no buyback.
His BKB's on the courier. He didn't pick it up. He didn't have it there. And
at least MP don't know this, so they may not force the issue.
Yeah, I mean, again, they don't need to force the issue. This is one of those games where even if they, let's say, theoretically could have taken Raxed because there's no buyback for one, NP don't know that. They're afraid of a Luna buyback with a DK initiation, catching them by surprise and winning a team fight. For NP, it's like, we're so far ahead, let's take another Roche, let's take these last outer towers, let's get some more wards down, let's buy a gem. There's so many other lower risk plays that MP can make, which also ensure they win this game, that there's no need for them to rush into taking a second lane of Rax. One Rax advantage at 25 minutes is a huge, huge win when you have a Naga Siren. You're not meant to be upper lane of Rax this early on.
Arrow flies, 5 seconds on Old Chicken. MP wants to capitalize. Defensive disruptions there, however, from Old Lanham. Making this initiation difficult. Luna's back up with her BKB. But NP have every ability that they want up. Every single ultimate in 9 seconds. That's the disruptor Storm, that's the only thing they are waiting on.
And once they get the Ags on Disruptor, which is very close, that's where you have the sleep into Static Storm, preventing a Luna BKB. That BKB 4,000 gold investment will be rendered useless.
Top lane, Burrow strikes there, Sylar the arrow. As it's still a 10-second BKB that has to be committed for this.
Almost as good as a kill. Not quite, but very close to it.
It's the greatest thing for NP.
They're going in bot lane.
Want to fight. They want to slip in because without that BKB from the Luna, she can't withstand the NP engagement.
They see him with the sentry wards though. They know what's going on.
Oh, Observer ward to be placed down. Quick D ward of a D ward of a D ward. And MP with no vision inside the base, they're being a little bit more cautious about this. And you got to remember, every time they send in one of these Naga illusions, it gets sent back at double the strength. So maybe they just go for what just came up. Roshan has just respawned.
Wow, that was the fastest possible Roche respawn. I was looking at the timer like, okay, let's see how long till Roche. And it just instantly respawned. And we'll see how fast they actually scout this one out. They're also going to wait. I mean, for MP, again, there's some really game-changing item pickups coming their way. The Aghanim Scepter on Disruptor being the biggest one. Guardian Greaves already complete on Warlock, so he's got that big item. I mean, Naga is not even that farmed yet. I mean, she's well on top of the net worth, but this is 27 minutes in. You're looking at Naga 6-slotted by 35 to 40 minutes if you just give AUI a bit more time. So they're going to just wait things out. Rose will scout the Roche pit, which will give them the intel they need that Roche has in fact respawned. And their lineup isn't the best physical damage for killing Roche, but when you've got the lanes pushed out as they have, they can sure as hell take Roche, even if it is a little slow.
Yeah, they got all the time in the world. Easy regeneration when you've got a Warlock standing behind you. The question is, can EHOME do anything about it? The lanes are pushed out just far enough they can go, but when Sada cops a 5-second arrow from Envy, and Envy continues to starfall down the top lane, maybe not the easiest way to get in.
Yeah, Envy just shows on the map that he's not afraid of anyone. The catch on EHOME is limited to the Dragon Knight Shadowblade initiation, which could catch Envy, to be realistic, but he knows that his role right now is to keep these lanes pushed out and make sure that Roche goes down without a hitch.
It's about a minute and a half they're going to take to kill Roshan. That's very long time.
I mean, Naga is not a hero that kills Roche fast.
No.
Neither is the Ags Mirana, but hey, you get it.
All right, and they're actually making sure SVG gets the last hit, so he gets just enough money when he uses his Midas to actually have the Aghanim Scepter.
So he's like, I guess I'll take it.
Yeah, he'll pick it up, but SVG's got his Ags.
Yeah.
Like, this is the critical item right now on the Disruptor.
They're going to walk up, Song, Static Storm, Dead Luna.
Yep.
Luna will have buyback at least, so it means she can buy back and still have the BKB. But that's where NP can then reset. They can then wait for the cooldown of Song. It's level 2 Song, so it's still 90-second cooldown.
They're going to amplify it with the Veil of Discord from Envy.
That sounds like overkill, but sure, why the hell not?
Overkill is NP's middle name. You got to kill it with a very flashy sequence of sword slashes.
I mean, there's no other items that's the thing. Like I say, overkill. Like, what items do you really need? Why not just get more damage? You don't need survivability. You've got a BKB already. You've got 1800 HP. NP's doing everything right, and
even AUI is rapidly approaching a butterfly.
That's where
this is the dream Naga. You were saying like you didn't say the words ticking time bomb, but it felt like that with AUI's farm he was getting on the top lane. And there was nothing which EHOME was really doing about it. Like, the man who was getting farm in return was Old 11 on the Darkseer, who's stuck shy of level 12 with only Greaves really to his name. There's no Blink Dagger. If Old 11 had that, then maybe you would look for some kind of initiation, but there's no AoE stun either to follow up and synergize with the Darkseer. There was no Sven pickup. It's Luna instead. And she's out of position. She's there holding the bottom lane out while the rest of MP prepare to attack the top.
Have to find some way to initiate, but it's so hard. It's like a losing battle when you think of the team fight that NP have, and EHOME are so limited in their options. They don't have a BKB on the Dragon Knight, which makes him incredibly squishy to the magic damage AoE combos coming out from MP. It's only Luna on the front lines, who also doesn't have level 16
Where
yet.
are you going, DK? He knows he's got vision. Thanks to the Observer Ward. Okay, he's just coming out just to kill the Dire Observer Ward.
Sure.
That was sitting on the hillside, but NP, at least Shadow Blaze down. That item's been effective for a DK. As they'll leap away, just a little bit of chip only.
They have scouted out the Ags on Disruptor as well, importantly. But whether or not... the knowing is not everything here. That's one of those things where you may know what your opponent's about to do, but can you stop it from happening? Because you've got to find some way to defend these buildings. It's going to be that slow, painful Naga Siren death even Mirana just poking away at this building, one right click at a time, chipping away.
And what do you want to do?
At the
Initiate on
base.
Envy, use it Half-Life? Like, he wants that to happen. He has the Aegis.
He's got all kinds of backup too with the Warlock rock as well as the song.
And this is when SD actually has to start copying Sylar time and time again just to send them down a bottom lane to keep that push going out. Or doing what he's doing now, which is taking the Naga Illusions, Moonlight Shadow. Okay, here they come. They're still having a little bit of trouble. The Naga Illusions are there. Envy is going to have his Aghanims go, and AUI preps up the fight with a Song of the Siren. You've got the Luna as well as the DK sending runs off each other. The Storm, no, the positioning, the timing was wrong. Epicenter will come down. Now Luna has to fight and fight hard. Eternal Envy losing life too quickly with the Impetus work. Disruptor is down, and EHOME are able to mount a defense. The coordination just a little bit off there from Disruptor.
Yeah, they didn't hit the arrow. He was expecting the arrow to land on the Luna, I guess, but they slightly mistimed it with the sleep and the arrow. The arrow went through Luna's body, and then the sleep got turned off as the Luna did not get stunned up by the arrow. The Static Storm also was not with a kinetic field, so Luna wasn't trapped at all. And we did manage to get out of it and then pop the BKB. Not the end of the world for MP. It's one of those things where, yeah, they kind of botched that team fight a little bit, but their losses was very minimal. They traded 1-for-1 in terms of supports there. They lost nothing whatsoever.
For
Cool
EHOME,
down.
though, they're very happy because the game could have been over if that
Yeah.
worked. Like, if you lose both your Luna as well as your DK, even if you do buy back and you're able to defend the top lane, it's these heroes being crippled, can't transition to an item. Because Old Chicken went for the Shadow Blade, he's never reached his BKB. He's never reached another big item that allows him to stand during the fights. And Luna's also now got a little bit more space, so she can go up and get that Mana Star. So we'll have a quick look at it again. You can see the positioning of Luna and DK, but SVG just a little bit too late to the party. The wall doesn't have its effect in time, and then Sylar can stand his ground.
It was this kind of awkward position between the Dragon Knight and the Luna where they were far enough apart you couldn't get both in the Static Storm, yet they still kind of tried to catch both in the Static Storm Connect field. They needed to just commit on one of the two, not both.
We need subtitles for this. There was also something that happened while we're actually in our replay. The courier from EHOME brought up the Mana Style, and it got picked off. So SVG was able to catch out the EHOME courier as it was going back to the EHOME base that has the Manta on it for 2.5 minutes. Sylar does not have this option.
Yeah, it's going to get even tougher. Now the next push is coming. All the ultimates just about back up. Only the Warlock one 30 seconds away, but they're also waiting for the Butterfly. So with the Butterfly, all that Agi coming into for the Naga Illusions. Yeah, it helps EHOME a little bit, but more than anything, it helps NP because those illusions will sometimes be hitting the buildings, and that's more than enough for NP.
Finally, the town gets tonight. EHOME were waiting for maybe an opportunity to have a crack. Old Chicken sitting inside of that Shadow Blade. He's right in range of the Dire Sentry Ward. And they should be very aware of this, considering they were the ones who attacked it to try and de-ward it. MSS trying to play fancy, blinks and four-staffing Old Chicken in close. No one's really close enough to go straight in for initiation. They do see Old 11 sitting. Actually, do they get a glimpse of him? Song of the Siren comes again. Oh, there's three together. Enchantress, Luna, and SD. This time they're the combo. The rock will drop. The epicenter is there. And EHOME are wiped from the face of the earth. But don't worry, they will come back again. Maybe stronger than ever. There's your buybacks, and now actually even glimpsing the DK all the way back to Fountain. They jump in once again. Sylar and Garda down low. Old Chicken to the front lines. He'll stun up. The Eclipse goes to work, but Luna's already down. That's a die back for her. They'll get another one. This is the game. They've lost the DK. NP will do it. They bring down EHOME 2-1 and advance themselves forward in the Boston Major.
It was a tough round one opponent for them, but they bounced back so well from that game one defeat. That was some very pristine team fights outside of that one slightly botched one. NP had the drafts, they had the plays. Everything came together really nicely in this Game 3 decider.
It really, really did. NP, they went for it. They went for the team fight. They went for the combo. When it all comes together, it's wonderful. There's only one little bit of a hiccup, but
I mean, look at NP,
put that aside.
13-0 and 10. He stood out so much that game. He made so many big plays, finding solo kills, sniping the courier mid. So much respect for his plays coming out on the Mirana.
especially also the Warlock pick, the support that was behind him. that big fight, you're not going to forget it, outside the front of Roshan when the fatal bonds connected and the Starfall fell. That was when EHOME started just losing control of everything. It all went downhill from there for EHOME.
It'd be pretty hard to put together a better 5-man team fight lineup than this. I'm thinking, like, which hero do you even take out and bring in someone who team fights better? This is like the dream team fight lineup.
It really is. The dream team, the dream panel. What did you think, boys? 2-1.
He's too kind, isn't he? Yes, indeed. And what a climax. We framed it like everyone got their first game and then we were going to have a big crescendo, and we got it. You must be celebrating there, Toby.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
It wasn't as close as we maybe thought, but it
Sure.
definitely was as explosive. Some of those fights and plays from Team NP was absolutely fantastic.
Hey, I mean, you know the plays are good when the entire green room stands up for a play. When people are just shouting, fatal bombs, and you have to watch the replay. So, you know, it was big. And I'm sure you guys enjoyed that as much as we did watching it. Thank you very much. That is Gods and Toby. And now to talk through it a little more, it's, of course, the panel. I've got myself, Fogged, Merlini, and Pyrian Flax to understand, first of all, what went right for NP, but also what went wrong for EHOME, because we did frame it. In that pre-match, to remind everyone, we did say this is the closest draft we've seen. It did feel like the prior game we saw EHOME kind of lose in the draft. And now we had what felt like a close game, Fogged. What went awfully wrong for EHOME here?
Well, they had pretty good laning phase, good laning start.
Good.
I mean, that sniping, the courier snipe definitely hurts the DK in that phase. So Envy had a great start for that. They did pretty much all they needed to in the lane phase, but then just some pretty crucial mistakes, actually, like trying to go for that pickoff, I think, in the jungle was the big one that stood out for me when the Naga got the Radiance. But also, the Enchantress just emphasizing so hard on shutting down the Sanking. I thought maybe like making moves to just like go to the Naga could help. I know I could understand the idea of like making sure the Sanking doesn't get much, but the core essence of the draft for NP was the Naga Siren.
Yeah, I was talking to Ben actually in the green room. We were saying, why aren't they going after Aria? Like, I kind of envisaged the Enchantress pick was about that, going into the enemy jungle, disrupting the Naga Siren. You know she's going to be there. But yeah, they've really focused on MSS, shut down the MSS, I guess they thought, and we'll win. But Aoi had so much farm early on. He was leading the way and just became a massive problem. But who do you think turned the game around for these lads? It was Envy. Yes. It was Envy, boys. This guy had a fantastic game. You know that's the thing. You know sometimes Envy's going to do it. He's just going to turn up and deliver.
This is when you could see NP's. They were going to win right after this. They lost 2 big cores at this fight, and this was shortly after the Naga Radiance. So normally you have
this
maybe
was the ridiculousness.
Yeah, here you go.
This
boom,
was
zap.
This was all kind of happened because of the last fight. They were like, okay, we can probably take Roche because there's no song up, and then they get fatal bonds and just massacred by the Starstorm. But they were just way too farmed, and their window to push was just almost non-existent in this game, I want to say. Normally you have a pretty good window to seed before Naga gets too big, but as you mentioned, the Enchantress pick, we didn't really feel like it brought EHOME's draft together that well. Like there's some minor benefits to her abilities versus like the Naga perhaps, but overall, yeah, the game plan was centered around the Naga. A lot of teams first ban Naga versus the NP because they do run it as a support, and EHOME, that was a folly in their draft.
I mean, when we are sitting there reflecting upon the scores and the doors, and you see that both Mirana and Naga Siren did not concede a single death in that series, you can't help but feel that EHOME were not applying the pressure where they needed to.
And just so many sleep combos. Like, how many times did heroes die? And then now that they finally have they have BKBs, they can actually maybe do something in the fight. But it's just super easy. Look at this 3-man static storm kinetic field on heroes. Drop the rock, there's the epicenter, and everyone just dies.
It's just great combos. Really, really good plays.
Yeah.
MP's draft really made a lot of sense. Compare that to the game that they lost, where it kind of didn't. I feel like if they can get that working, I mean, I don't understand. Still don't understand why did EHOME let them take Naga Siren? It felt like such a good pick for them.
Right.
I just don't fully understand it.
I'm really loving like the Mirana pick into Luna. Not even just talking about the Warlock, but Mirana into Luna, because we've been seeing these Lunas they go for this BKB so late, which of course you want to, because if you get it too early, it can be massively detrimental to you. So picking this Mirana, it just gives you so much burst potential, and it's just like, okay, this Luna's at half HP. If he pops BKB, he's at half HP already. I just love that type of approach toward it.
Yeah, even in that big Roshan fight, he was the one. Envy's the one that arrowed the Luna to get her to half so that she died. Like he just made so many things happen for him.
Yeah, he had a great game.
Yeah, Aoi was a very influential part as well. We saw so much stuff with him on that Naga Siren. We're actually going to see him with Slacks right now on stage. Get to hear from the man himself. We've got to play his favorite hero to win the Battle of Survival here in Boston.
Ladies and gentlemen, the crowd is going crazy for the man, Aoi 2000, the first person to have 3